In these chapters of John's Gospel that we will read this week, we will see they are rich with beauty. I hope you will give yourself time to read and meditate and study this section of John's Gospel, because John is trying to help us see how Jesus is the Son of God. Yes, he is fully human, and at the same time, he is fully God. In this section of John, we see many of those well-known I am statements. In chapter 5, we see a group of Jews who are plotting to kill Jesus because of his claims to be equal with God. In chapter 6, we see him feed a crowd of over 5,000 people and then follow it up with teaching about how he is the bread of life. Chapter 6 ends with one of my favorite scenes in all of the Gospels, where Jesus has been giving some hard teaching, and the large crowd that's been following him is kind of dwindling and shrinking down. And he turns to his 12 core disciples and asks them, "Are you going to go away as well?" And Peter, ever the spokesman, speaks up and this time actually says something right. He so often says the wrong thing, but here he says something beautiful. He answers by saying, "Lord, to whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life. We have come to believe and to know that you are the Holy One of God." In chapter 8, we see how Jesus describes himself as the light of the world and makes further claims of being himself God. In chapter 9, he heals a man who's been born blind and then later encounters him again and heals his heart from sin. In chapter 10, Jesus explains how he is the good shepherd who lays down his life for the sheep. And then in John chapter 11, the last thing we'll read this week, is a well-known passage of Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead. This episode shows us Jesus' own deep feelings towards death, his care and compassion for those who are grieving, and his declaration that he is the resurrection and the life. And at the end of chapter 11, he turns his face towards Jerusalem that will lead to his death and then resurrection.